I'm 19 years old, and in the past 3 months, I've made close to $140,000 by selling AI to businesses. And this video is more about just going into the business model. I get so many people on a daily basis on Instagram just asking what I do for a living, asking if I can get them into this space, asking how they could start an AI agency for themselves. And I'm happy to answer because I just spoke about this in a reel as well. I feel like it's my moral obligation to get as many people into the AI space as possible. It's the first online business that is an obligation. It's a need to learn AI. There's been countless different online business money opportunities in the past. Dropshipping, e-commerce, day trading, Amazon FBA, TikTok shop, all these different ways to make money, and it's always been an option. Some people out there have capitalized on it and made a lot of money doing so. But there's always been alternative ways to make money and make a living for yourself as well. Maybe not as yielding, and if you're working a job or you're studying for something, that won't necessarily make as much money as a successful e-commerce brand, for example. 5 years from now, I believe that 80% of jobs will be replaced by AI. And just looking at how fast AI and technology is evolving, and I feel that it's like my moral obligation to get as many people into the AI space as possible, because regardless of if you're going to be working a job, a 9 to 5, studying for something, starting a business, owning a business, you're going to have to deal with AI. And Mark Cuban, who has a multi-billion-dollar net worth, has famously said that there's going to be 2 types of companies 5 years from now. There's going to be those who are great at AI, and there's going to be everybody else. And from there on, it's your choice to decide what type of company you want to be and what type of person you want to be. Majority of businesses worldwide, their main priority is to make more money. Businesses want to get richer. And most of the time, they don't even really care about saving time or saving money while doing so. They just want to have more money at the end of the month or at the end of the year. If you're a normal person watching these videos, if you're not so much into the business space and you're just looking to get started, you probably know about Sora 2 or ChatGPT, if you want to take it as basic as possible. You know about these AI tools that can make insane AI content, and that AI is a powerful tool in general. The main problem that we have been solving for these local businesses is to replace their sales team. Every single employee that is on the front end of their business that gets new customers and make these businesses more money, we can replace the entire team with AI. So all the media buyers that run the ads for these companies, all the sales team that picks up the phone and books these customers in for appointments, we can replace all of that with AI. You're gonna see a lot of people pitching different AI services that you can offer. AI automations, AI agents, AI workflows, AI receptionists. And these are great tools if you just want to solve a minor problem or a minor department of a local business, or you want to free up some of their time. And because AI is a buzzword, you can make some money while doing so. You can offer an AI automation and sell that for maybe $1,000 to $3,000. And if you're satisfied with that, then that's great. But if you want to make a lot of money with AI, you have to solve an actual problem. And what is that problem? It is actually making these businesses more money. Usually, as I said, businesses' main priority is to make more money. But for this year specifically, studies have shown that 80% of worldwide companies, their main priority for 2025 this year was to implement AI into their company. So you have 2 problems. You have them wanting to implement AI into their business operations, and then you have businesses wanting to make more money. If you can put those 2 concerns together and use AI to make more money for these businesses, then you can make a lot of money in return. What we've been doing for these local businesses that we've been working with is look at their sales team, look at their employees, look at their media buyers, and see how much of this entire front-end acquisition system can we replace with AI. Because if we can replace the entire system that they're using to get new customers and make more money with AI, then we can make them more money because AI will do a better job. We can save them money by implementing AI that costs a few $100 a month instead of all the employment fees and salaries that they have to pay out to their sales team. So AI costs a few $100 a month, while an average sales team for a medium-sized local business is costing anywhere between $30,000 and $50,000 a month. So we're making them more money. We're saving them $50,000 a month, and we're also saving them time on top of that by implementing AI that works 24/7. It never gets sick. It never complains. It never woke up on the wrong side of bed that morning. It just does the work without asking the business owner any questions. And when you prompt it and code it the right way, it will do a better job than humans. As I mentioned before, 80% of businesses worldwide, their main priority for this year was to implement AI into their company, yet only 20% of businesses have actually learned how to implement it by themselves. That means it's a huge gap in supply and demand for AI implementation into local businesses. And if you can meet that demand by learning how to supply AI to these local businesses that you can make a lot of money with an extremely impactful business model. And the biggest part of all of this is I know I'm safe in this AI revolution that we're heading into. There's so many people that are scared of AI replacing their job and them not having anything to do for a living. People are so scared of their job being replaced by AI. And I know I'll be able to run this business for the next 10 years because the business is on a upward spiral instead of a downward spiral. And I wish that for everybody watching this video as well. So what I'll do is I'll break down the exact AI agency model that has allowed me to make $60,000 a month in profit at 19 years old and have full-time and location freedom over my life. So I hope that you can get some value from this presentation and get into the AI space for yourself. How I made $135,000 in 3 months by selling AI to local businesses at 19 years old without doing any work on the back end or knowing how to code. And we'll get into this later, how we kind of outsource these back end projects to a team that can make sure that we can deliver great results for the clients that we take on. The problem that we're solving is the following. 83% of global companies claim that their number one priority in 2025 heading into 2026 is implementing AI into their business. Aside from making more money and growing as a company, their number one priority is to implement AI into their operations. Now, only 30% of businesses are currently utilizing AI to their advantage. This means that there's a huge gap in supply and demand for AI implementation, which is extremely important because there's truly no timeless way to get rich. A lot of companies or big rich people have made their money because they capitalize on a specific market timing. They came into the market where there was a certain product or a certain service that not a lot of people were offering, but that a lot of people needed. And that's how you make a lot of money. You can even go as far as saying some rappers have made a career for themselves because they came into the game when there wasn't a lot of rappers around. Some of the most famous rappers out there have only became as big as they are because when they started in the game back in like the 2000s, there wasn't a lot of rappers out there. And that obviously goes for business models as well. If you try to start a regular marketing agency or a dropshipping store today, for example, that's going to be significantly harder than it was back in 2017, 2018, where a lot of people needed those type of services and those type of products, but not a lot of people were offering it. And what happens through time is when it's so many people offering the same solution to a big chunk of people, the people that actually need that product or service are going to go to the best ones. So it's going to be impossible for you that doesn't have the credibility and the authority to start, which wouldn't be the case with an AI agency since you're literally helping them out with their number one problem. I can tell you from experience how easy it is to sell these type of AI solutions. There's so much demand for AI implementation, and especially an AI implementation that directly makes businesses more money. And we'll go into why that's the best thing to sell in a little bit as well. Just to give you all some perspective as well of how huge this opportunity actually is. The global AI market is projected to exceed $1.8 trillion by 2030. It's growing at a 30% annual growth rate. And that's not for AI, the global AI market as a whole. That's for specifically AI services and consulting. What we're talking about, implementing AI and consulting and teaching businesses on how to implement AI into their operations and sales process. And if you can capitalize on this over the course of the next 3 to 5 years and take a tiny bit of this pie in regards to the AI market, you can be set for life. And so I'm going to run you through exactly what to sell, who to sell it to, and how to approach this AI opportunity as a whole. Before we go into the actual nitty-gritty of the business model, I want to show you an example of 4 extremely wealthy individuals. I'm sure most of you watching this video probably know who these faces are. I'll play all these 4 videos for you, all preaching AI implementation as the number one business opportunity going into 2026. Keep in mind, these are extremely high-level entrepreneurs that have made money in 4 different ways. All came to the same conclusion that going in 2025 and going into 2026, AI implementation is the number one thing you should focus on if you're around my age as well.
What business do you go start today?
Oh, I'd be hardcore looking at AI stuff. I mean, I think that there's a gigantic opportunity from a service side of AI implementation in small business, Main Street, because I think so many businesses are like, they recognize that they're like, man, AI is scary.
Because listen, being involved early in AI truly is like being involved early in the internet days. And I don't think you're going to have this kind of opportunity again for maybe a decade or 2.
You can mess up a lot of things, but if you get the main trend right, you're going to make a lot of money. And conversely, if you don't get the main trend right, you're swimming upstream. You can do a lot of other things right, but you're not going to make a lot of money. So I intentionally spend time thinking about where does all this fit in and where could it be going?
What major trend are you most interested in right now?
I'm most interested in AI because it is the trend. It is the number one trend.
I want to touch on this as well, since he quite literally is one of the richest people in the world preaching AI as the best way to make money because it is the major trend. His point being, if you sell something that is extremely valuable, but you pitch it as something that is boring or that's outdated or that is saturated and has already been outdone by the rest of the market, you won't make a lot of money, even if it is something very valuable that you're selling. Even though the product is worse, not saying that it would be worse, because we're quite literally changing businesses' lives with these type of solutions, and I'll go into that in a second as well. But even though the product is worse, you'll have an easier time selling if it's something that they actually want and you get the major trend right.
Artificial intelligence is going to change everything. It'll have a bigger impact on us than the internet, than phones, mobile computing, or mobile networking, wide area networking. It's just going to dwarf everything. And
so now that we know that selling AI to businesses is the number one most lucrative business model to start going into 2026, what is it that we're actually selling to them? Well, if we recap on what businesses care most about, businesses' main priority overall is to make more money. There's not a single business that isn't interested in growing as a company or making more money, quote unquote. It just happens to be that businesses' main priority in 2025 and going into 2026 of these studies that have been made is implementing AI into their operations. And this is indirectly because they want to make more money as well, because they understand that their competitors, if they understand AI better than they do, they'll be outcompeted by them and thus go bankrupt 3 to 5 years from now. We can put together these two desires, implementing AI into their operations and making more money into an AI growth infrastructure. And I'll explain this in a bit as well. This is the number one best thing that you could sell overall to anybody going into 2026. You're making businesses more money, and you're doing so by implementing AI into their operations. It's so extremely valuable to the right companies. And we call this an AI growth infrastructure because there's a lot of things to sell with AI, but quite literally nothing comes close to this, what we're selling, putting together all these different tools, these softwares into a package that we can sell to companies. And I'll go into exactly what it is that we do, how we put this together, how we outsource this to the right team, and how to ultimately target the right businesses that are willing to pay us 5 figures plus for it. The AI infrastructure agency model. First of all, I want to make clear that there's a lot of names going around for these type of AI agency models: AI infrastructure agency, AI growth agency, growth systems, AI workflows, AI automation, AI receptionist. All these different things are going around, and I understand it can be confusing. I want to break it down for you to make it very simple, because growth infrastructure, you can also say AI growth solutions or whatever, but it all pretty much means the same things when you're talking about an infrastructure, and I'll go into what this means. Here to the left, you have a lot of different things that you can sell with AI. The problem with these is that none of them make businesses more money. An AI receptionist is essentially a caller that picks up the phone and it sounds like a human, and it can book in appointments or just take appointments on the spot 24/7. And it's very valuable. And a lot of people will say, well, you can say, sell AI receptionist. I've made this amount of money selling AI receptionist. And the truth is that if you're only selling one of these AI assistants, AI workflows, AI automations, that won't work. I can give you examples. Like local businesses get, if you're walking into the regular local business, they're getting max maybe 10, 15, 20 calls a week. So implementing an AI receptionist won't do a lot of difference, even though it is very valuable to hand over that amount of calls to an AI bot that can do it for you instead of you taking those calls. It won't make the business more money. Same with an automation. A lot of people will say, well, you can sell this AI automation for 5K to a local business, when you can literally go to N8N and find 7,000 pre-built automations completely for free for any company to use. And you think that you as some random 20-year-old are going to be able to sell an AI automation for 5K to some local business? Maybe you will, but I can tell you, if you manage to sell an AI automation for 5K, you have quite objectively scammed that business, because they could have gone to N8N's website and found it for free. So the only reason people are selling receptionists or automations or workflows without any marketing behind it, it's only because AI is such a strong buzzword. And right now, because there's so much demand for AI, companies will quite literally buy anything that has with AI to do. But 6 months from now or 12 months from now, this won't be sellable anymore, because the companies have figured out that this didn't help us. It didn't make us more money. And we just spent 5K on nothing. We have our calls outsourced and we have a bunch of useless automations, but they don't actually do anything for us. We want to make more money. How do we do that? Implementing AI. Maybe you could sell some of these assistants or agents for 1 to 3K per implementation, but then again, these won't be sellable in the next 6 to 12 months. And I don't think your reason for getting into business is to run a business for 6 months and then close it down and do something else. You want to be in it for the longevity. And that's where we put together an AI growth infrastructure. I'll explain what this means, because as I said, we want to make businesses more money directly. Every single time I've invested into something, whether it be mentors, courses, partnerships, systems for the agency, a new closer, like a hire for the team, whatever it may be, is because I believe that purchase were going to make me more money. And if I wasn't confident that was going to make me more money, I've never ever bought something for, as you can see, 7 to 25K just because I wanted to clear up my time, or it was going to look better, or my website is more aesthetically pleasing. No company out there cares about that. They care about more money in their bank account, and maybe 20% of the time they care about doing it while not spending their entire life in the business. But then again, like, a lot of companies will literally spend more time to make more money. They don't even care if they have to work an extra 4 hours a day on average, if that makes them more money. So that out of the way, the only thing businesses care about, aside from this year being AI implementation, is making more money. And every single local business out there is making money the same way. They have a sales process consisting of mainly 4 different components: lead generation, appointment setting, sales, and tracking. And we can take care of 3 of these so far. In the future, probably all 4. But at the moment, 3 of these completely with AI. We take care of lead generation, appointment setting, and the tracking with AI. The sales, we can't do anything with that so far because it would be quite weird to have an in-person meeting with a robot, or a Zoom call with a robot that would sell them on whatever these local businesses are selling, whether it be roofing services or building a pool or listing a property or a court case, for example. Like whatever it may be, sales can't be taken care of by AI so far. But what we can do is we can take care of lead generation, appointment setting, and tracking completely with AI. The way this works is we launch AI generated advertising. So we launch ads on Meta and Google with AI generated ads, essentially. So static creatives and video ads are fully made by AI, which is a lot more time efficient and cost efficient for these businesses. They don't have to spend money or time on making ads themselves. It's fully done by AI. And then we drive the attention of these leads and these potential customers onto their website, where there's a opt-in page where they can fill in their phone and their email, essentially their contact information, to get to know more about the system or the service that these companies are selling. When they fill in this form with their name, their phone, and their email, we have an AI dialer call them up. And that's done immediately after they've filled in their information. So we have an AI dialer 24/7 on the exact, every single customer that fills in this opt-in page is literally prompted and programmed to call up every single one. And not just at any given time. We do it directly after they filled in their information in the opt-in page. If they don't pick up, we do it 1 hour later. If they don't pick up then either, we do 5 hours later, then we do 24 hours later, then 48 hours later. And if they still haven't picked up the phone by then, we do it once a week, essentially forever. We do this obviously to call up these customers that have filled in their information and book them in for an appointment with the business. And these AI callers that calls up the leads literally sounds more like a human than a human itself. And with an AI software like 11 Labs, for example, we can literally customize the voice of the AI caller to sound just like the receptionist and the sales team that were earlier taking these calls instead of the AI. So you've basically cloned yourself. If you had one receptionist for a company before, you can make 10 bots for $100 a month instead of paying this team member of yours, this receptionist, 3K, 5K a month to pick up the phone all the time. You can implement 9 more bots and essentially clone yourself to have like a team of you that picks up the phone at any given time. And you literally won't tell. I couldn't even tell at this point the difference between the actual human and the AI caller that calls you up. If this is a roofing company, for example, that AI caller will book that potential customer in for an appointment where the staff and the sales team of that roofing company can go ahead and pitch the potential customer on whatever they're selling. On top of all of this, we also give the client a customized platform where they can track the data of the ads, performance of the different creatives and how they compare to each other, usage of the AI dollar, how many calls it's taken, how many minutes it's been used. So they can basically look at the data and improve based on what's working the best. Instead of selling something for 1 to 3K per implementation, putting this type of infrastructure in place, businesses are happy to pay you anywhere between 7 and 25K per implementation. And this is something that's going to be around for the next 5 years. We essentially take care of attention, conversion, sales, and tracking all in one package that we can sell to the business and then basically just walk away from it. So it's a one-time thing that we're selling them and a system that's going to keep working automatically forever, since everything is taken care of by AI. No annoying team members, nothing that we got to manage on a consistent basis, just AI that works just as good as humans, but we can replicate it as many times as we want for a couple $100 a month. We launched the AI ad creatives through Arcast.ai or Creatify.ai. Those are the 2 best platforms to launch AI generated content. And then we drive the leads onto an opt-in page on their website, as I mentioned before, and we can then call them up with an AI dollar. We usually recommend to build the AI dollar on Vapi.ai since it's pay as you go. So there's no upfront cost or anything. So the business will essentially just pay per minute that they use the AI dollar. So nothing is upfront, there's no risk. And it literally costs 5 cents per minute used. So if you talk for 20 minutes, that costs the business $1. So it's super cheap to use. Then the AI dollar book them in for an appointment, and then the business can make the sale, and then we give them the platform to track all this data and do it over and over again. So this is how we break down the payment. We usually sell this type of package for 10K upfront, and we can basically outsource the entire fulfillment to a white label agency, an AI developer team, and optionally a virtual assistant as well. They can take care of some of the back-end work. A white label agency is essentially an agency that will disguise themselves as you. So they will log into your ad account and run the ads, and they have done it professionally many times. So they could run the ads better than we ever could by ourselves. And we essentially pay them a set fee of $500 a month to run the ads, which is pennies once we've taken on this payment for 10K from the client. We then pay an AI developer team $500 as a one-time fee to build the AI dollar and make sure that that can run consistently inside of Go High Level, which is the all-in-one CRM that we build these systems in. And then a virtual assistant will basically provide the client with the platform to track data and performance on the ads, and the usage of the AI dollar to make sure that they're hitting their desired KPIs and can run the system month by month by month. Because what we're doing is we're essentially replacing an entire sales team. An average sales team of a medium-sized local business is costing between 10 and 50K a month. So by implementing these things for them, they essentially pay 10K to you one time to get rid of 50K a month in expenses forever, which is a no-brainer to any company out there. Once we've done this, you'll basically outsource the entire back-end project. So you have an entire team of people taking care of this entire fulfillment process, and you don't have to do anything except for managing your team members and making sure that the clients are happy with the fulfillment. You charge $10,000 for this package, and let's say the upfront agreement would be 3 months. You're paying the white label agency $500 a month, so that's $1,500 in total. You're paying the AI developer $500 one-time fee, and then you're paying the virtual assistant $900 for those 3 months. After you've outsourced all this, you're left with 71% profit margin, meaning out of this $10,000 that you're charging them, $7,100 is completely yours. And that's doing zero work on the back end. Now, there's one thing to see that this AI agency model works for myself, and the money that I've made for myself in my agency is great. But once I started to see results from our students inside of the mentorship as well, that's when I got fully convinced that this is the number one best business model to start going into 2026. Jason was doing about 3K a month working with dental practices in his hometown in Germany when he came to us. And about 2.5 months later, he was doing 36K a month by essentially switching all of that advertising that they were doing manually before, filming all the ads, driving to his clients and everything that he was doing, and switching that for AI generated advertising alongside some of the other systems that we implemented for him. And he was able to take on 4 clients for a total of $36,000 USD that month. So he's selling a 9K package, which is pretty impressive. We took Frederick from basically zero to now doing $45,000 a month with his AI agency, selling to roofing companies in Scandinavia, so Sweden, Norway, Denmark. And he's been very successful with that as well. Our student Maya was able to close his first 7.5K deal after 3 weeks of working with us. So he's selling to ventilation companies, HVAC companies in the French market. And then Ryan, one of our students from the States, is also working with dental practices, was able to close 2 6K deals. So for a total of $12,000 USD that week, which is pretty impressive. This exact business model has taken me from being a essentially kid from Stockholm, Sweden, 18-year-old when I started, 19 now, with an athletic background, not really knowing what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And then a year and a half later, traveling the world, meeting cool people that I now call my close friends, and I'm able to travel the world with them and do what we love and grow the business together, which is an amazing feeling and something that I wish upon every single one of you watching this video. And I wouldn't be sitting here preaching this business model if it wasn't something that I actually believed in. There's so much demand for AI implementation into businesses going into next year. And if you want to create a business that can let you have this type of life, location freedom, time freedom, but also financial freedom, making a lot of money while being wherever you want and working whenever you want as well, then this is the business model that you should dive into head first. And I can tell you that from experience. Not only every single major successful entrepreneur in the world preaching AI implementation into businesses as the number one business model to start for the years to come, but I can actually tell what this has done for me. And you can see that on the screen as well. So if you're looking to start your own AI agency and you're looking to get into this space, learn how to utilize this AI movement to your benefit and learn AI implementation into local businesses and build a business that you're proud of, then you can click the first link under this video to book in a free discovery call with me and the team and apply to join the one-on-one mentorship. There's no course, no group coaching. It's fully one-on-one with me and the team that's going to help you out to build and scale your AI agency to $10, $20, $30, $50,000 a month and beyond. So feel free to go ahead and book a completely free discovery call with me and the team underneath, and we hope to speak with you on the call.